Alright, so next we're going to mount the hose reel onto the frame. And this is where you'll need to make a decision as to how you want it mounted in your RV. A lot of people, this way takes up the most width in a storage bay. But if you actually turn it this way, and let's say the opening of your bay is here, you have a sidewall here that this can butt up against. You'll be able to reach in and hit the switch. So what we're going to have to do is mount the hose reel sideways. And then now the hose will peel off the front, and this is only going to be taking up just about 10 inches of width in your storage bay. We found that most people are going to install it in this configuration. And we have the 4 bolts, put washers on the top, put those through the holes that are dedicated using a washer and a lock nut on the bottom side. And this is where we will use the 1/2 inch wrench and the 1/2 inch socket. Okay, next we're going to install the handle on the hose reel. I'm going to tilt this a little bit here so you can see it a little better. The handle goes on one way and the V part goes to the top. I'm going to use these small Phillips head screws with a washer on one end, a washer on the inside as well. Comes with a locking nut. Put that on. And this is where we will need the Phillips head screwdriver and the 3/8 inch wrench. What I like to do is just kind of go ahead and just get it tight, just past so those locking threads kind of catch, and then go ahead and set up the other. Okay, now that we got that tight, all of them are good and tight, hose reel should be good to go on the handle. Next is going to be putting this 90-degree elbow onto this brass end here. Let's get this kind of turned around a little bit better for you. And this is the silver elbow, and it has a thread protection on the end there. This is where we're going to need the Teflon tape for the first time. And so now we're going to put the Teflon tape on, and this is I'm going to put it on clockwise. And I don't think at times you can use too much, but at least 2 rotations around the threads, and then the last one you always kind of like to pull it tight and pull it off. And this is where we're just going to put it in by hand to get started, and we're going to need the 7/8 inch wrench. And there we have it. Kind of coming through this opening in the hose reel here at about that angle. Let me spin this so you can see it a little better. So this way the hose will come through and lay across the reel itself. Okay, so next we're going to put the hose on the reel, and a little tip, you'll notice that the hose has got these white elastic things on it. Leave those on it. It's going to make it easier to hand start the hose and get it ready to go onto the reel. So let's go ahead and put some Teflon tape onto the hose. And there's actually 2 sizes here, and this is the end with the plastic on it that goes right on the end of the gun and the lance, and the smaller end is the one that goes right into the hose reel here. So we'll put some Teflon tape on and then get it started. Next, we'll just kind of feed it through and get it hand started. And you can see this is where it's kind of nice to be able to, if you're doing this by yourself, to get the threading going. And now that it's pretty much hand tight, this will be where we need to use a 17mm wrench. Okay, so let me rotate this so you can see it. And this is where we'll use the 17mm wrench again and finish hand tighten it off. Okay, so now we're getting ready to roll up the hose onto the hose reel. This is a good point now that you can take and snip these off and let the hose go to the ground and roll it up on the reel. Okay, so we just finished rolling up the hose on the reel, and we took an extra minute or two and put some Teflon tape on the other end of the hose and fastened it onto the actual gun. This is what we call the gun, and the end that goes on the other end is called the lance. Okay, next we're going to install the pigtail, and the pigtail goes from the hose reel to the output of the pump here. And the unit came with two brass fittings. These fittings are to connect the end of the pigtail to the hose reel. This one, the straight one here, you will not use with the hose reel mounted sideways. As you can see, it comes out and creates, a larger footprint. If we use the 90-degree angle, when this hose will end up just looping right into the end of the pump. So we're going to put Teflon tape on here. So now we have Teflon both ends, and we're going to install the 90-degree elbow. And this is where we'll use the 13/16" wrench again. And again, we're going to tighten it as tight as we can get it. And then next, it's onto the other end of the elbow. This is the other end of the pigtail, which is going to go on the brass end of the pump output side here. One of the things that we want to kind of elaborate a little bit about this pigtail hose is that it is a little bit too long. The reason why we do that is a lot of people might want to be able to mount the hose reel in a separate location from the pump and motor, and it gives them that ability to do that. So in this application here, we like to kind of just take it through this frame here, eats up a little extra of that length of the hose, and this just goes on hand tight, as tight as you possibly can get it. It is a compression fitting, so it is designed for that application. And there we have it. Alright, so next is the soap injection tube. We're going to install that, and we're going to put that on this plastic elbow right here. And the easiest thing to do is, because this elbow is flexible so that it can follow the hose where you're going to put it, is to actually remove it from the brass fitting and hand push the tube onto it like that, and then just reinsert back in, and we're good to go there. We've also provided you with a Velcro tie-up, which is easily attached right to the frame, and tighten that down to the frame. And then that way, when you want to use the soap and inject it, it's just real easy to just peel it off and stick the filter into your detergent. Okay, so next we'll attach the lance to the gun, and it's pretty simple. Just make sure it's lined up, push it on, tighten up the turnbuckle there, and that's attached. Let's go over a few things here that's left over, and then we're going to go install this in an RV. First of all, this is a clean-out tool that comes with it, and it's a very small item. Basically a pin that you're going to use. If you get debris stuck in the end of the nozzle, you'll see the hole, and you can push it into that opening, the orifice, and it'll clean out the debris that's in there. Second of all is this rubber banded clip. We will use it in installing some of the PEX into the RV itself. So we have the roadway owner's manual. We have the owner's manual for the hose reel that's left over, and So what we're going to do is we're going to put the rest of these PEX fittings into the bag, and we're going to go install it in the RV.